Good morning everyone. Nice and bright and early. That sun's right in my eyes there. Talking quiet, it's early. Sun's just poking up above the trees. On another beautiful property today. See if you can get that outlook on camera. Definitely won't be doing it justice. Got all these hedges all the way along today to do. Prune back both sides. We've got brush cutting to do. We'll duck through the trees here. And then I've got some footage, so show you this quickly. So we'll run all the way along. At least a few hours, I dare say, because it goes up and over, and then down the hill. So I'll get down as far as I can reach, and I'm going to send the drone up, get some nice aerial footage right across the top of this valley here. It goes out and you can actually see the ocean. Probably won't pick it up again on the camera, but just another magnificent property. That's not mountains. It's the ocean over there. There's a bloody ship over there. Anyway, not the best camera work, I know. There's mountains that way. There's Bago Bluff. Alright, it's not a nature video today, I know. I've actually got the two hedge trimmers out, multi-tool and the dedicated hedge trimmer. Now I've recently got this repaired. I actually was going through the grease in the unit itself where the gears are to drive the blades. So this one got tested, had 20 hours of motor use. Sorry for the phone going off there. So I'm going to be giving this thing a test as well, but after that's been repaired I'm going to be running down this one side. Sorry for the sun. One side, give that a good test again, make sure it's all good to go, and then on the other side I'll use the multi-tool. I've got the chainsaw there also on the platform if I need it, but it looks like I should be tall enough and have enough reach with these little things right here, so we'll give them a good test. One thing I will make mention quickly when you're doing it, no matter where you are, bring the snipper along with you. So when you've done a hedge and it's overgrown, and usually it's overgrown right to the ground, you'll notice underneath you've got all the grass to tidy up. So all along here, right through, and then up there it gets even thicker. So with that, any hedge, keep in mind that you want to get the snipper at the end of it, come along and tidy up the undergrowth. Because you can finish a nice pretty hedge and then it all looks good, but then you look down at the ground and all these overgrown grass or weeds are sticking up. So I've got the lawns and edges to do also here today, if I get time. A day like today I'd usually have an extra pair of hands, but unfortunately my helper, he had other things on, and that's all good. Just yeah, try and get as much done on properties like this when it is, I know it's going to be too much for one. So I'll rip in, get this done. The other side, don't have to worry about the tops too much, not really blocking a view of anything, it's just to tidy up the edges. And then the brush cutting down the hill there, get a bit better access and a nicer view. So we'll leave it there, got plenty to do. I'll see if I can get some footage. I'll get a little bit of footage of this. I want to keep some of the footage obviously for the zero turn, because that's my new favourite toy. And we'll get this sorted, this paddock here to do, and I sort of know my times, what I was doing with that little Toro, so it's going to be interesting to see. Quickly make mention of the other day when I was doing a residential, it was halving, it was yesterday actually, halving the times that even the Toro ride-on was doing. So when you weigh all this up, I went around one property, I edged, mowed, then blowed down, and I was done in 15 to 18 minutes. and that's massive. So on a property where I know with the Time Master, that very same property, used to take me 45 minutes with a Time Master, with a push mower. Then I got to half an hour with the Toro ride on, now 15 to 18 minutes. And I know, 18, I know, but you got to be onto your times, because then you know, all right, next one, you want to have them all lined up, ready to go. I've spoken about that enough in other videos, but it's all about your root density and how quickly you can get to your next lawn. And that's how, with lawn mowing, like, it's how you can make a good living out of it. So, alright guys, talk to you soon. I'll see if I set this up out of the sun. And thanks again. I'll get some footage and I'll speak to you at the end of the day. Have a good one. Bye. Right, fantastic job as usual with that thing. Felt it struggling a little bit through the deader type plants that were burnt off in the bushfires that we had not all that long ago. What I wanted to talk about, just quickly, I've had probably a week's worth now with that multi-tool, on and off being used with my helper and myself. And what I've noticed is, without a doubt, it chews the battery more than the dedicated units. So the dedicated hedge trimmer, I can get probably 2 days out of a battery. One of the, I think 9 amp batteries, are they? Yeah, 9.4 amp hour batteries. BLI 300, and I think the other one's BLI 200, and they're 5 amp hour. But anyway, I've got the 2-3 amp hours in each of these. Now I've just gone through, saw me up and back, still reading full, still fine. And do the same with the other one. The other side, a little bit more overgrown, you'll see. But that shouldn't affect the battery too much more. But we'll determine that right now with this video. So that bloody sun. You got this whole side right. I'll stand this way and hopefully you can get a picture of how much is actually going to come off. I'll try and set it up maybe down the other end so you're not looking into the sun. That might be smarter, eh? Get rid of this spider web on my way over there. So yeah, I wanted to make mention of that because it's worth thinking about. I'm glad I didn't get the multi-tool first because I wouldn't have been happy with the battery life. However, the multi-tool can extend a lot further than the dedicated units, obviously, because you can throw on the extension poles, which I have got on order. Just with this corona getting around, everything on order, it takes that much longer to get here. So with that, you weigh it up and you go, well, I'm not going to be using that thing as my dedicated hedger anyway. It's just handy to have when you can't quite reach things. Like on this side, I'm going to be lower on this hill here, and I'm probably going to need that taller one, if not my platform. So I'll see how I go getting this all sorted here. Need to stand in the light now. And then I'll get some footage of this brush cutting quickly and save some battery for the camera when I'm doing the ride on. Thanks guys. Sorry guys, there's a good chance you wouldn't have been able to see me there. There's too much growth at the other end here, so I'm going to swing it around, set it up in the middle, pan across, and then pan down that way when I get past you. Make the camera nice and level. Alrighty, almost without fail. I'll just check the battery. Hold it up for you so you can see. Hopefully. 3 bars, right? Let's do that one more time. 3 bars. And I've only stopped halfway just to sort of simulate, because this side took a little bit more off. And a little bit more of the dead stuff off as well, which everyone knows that dead timber goes a bit harder to cut rather than fresh green bit of timber. So it's a little bit frustrating when you're expecting the same battery life out of a tool, but at the same time, like I said, this one's more designed for the places that thing can't reach. So right now, I wouldn't have had this tool. I would have continually used the dedicated hedge trimmer and it would have been sweet. Now I'm going to do a comprehensive review of this multi-tool along with the battery gear, because I've used that now. Like I said, the 20 hours I've put on that long reach pole hedge trimmer, and it makes sense because that's the one I typically grab even for waist height type hedges. It's just so much comfier, it's got more reach and a lot more manoeuvrability. Even though it's longer, it's still, to shape things, especially round shaped hedges, that pole one compared to your standard handheld, a lot easier to shape, a lot easier to sort of just get that finesse on your hedge. So again, I've spoken about that before, but I'm just going to whack these sunnies on. Sorry guys, very bright. And yeah, so all in all, great tool. Just the multi-tool version, if you're thinking about getting that and you're going to get all the attachments, just be aware that the battery will get chewed a lot quicker, and it's literally halving the time. The other day we were side by side, me and the other bloke who got working with me, and when we were doing the exact same hedging, and all in all, like we're going through it, I was actually getting more done with the pole, like dedicated one, and it still had more battery than this. Now in saying that, on that day it finally gave up the ghost with the head itself, needed re-greasing, and the teeth needed spacing apart a bit better. They were a bit tight, but it was flashing red on the unit. I was thinking the worst, because like everyone knows, with that handheld unit, I had that 3 times to get fixed because I had to update the firmware. So that's another thing when you're buying it new, make sure they update the firmware, because if it overheats, which it has to get over 69 degrees roundabouts, in the actual motor unit itself, and then that'll cause the unit to stop working. It just automatically shuts down. It's a safety feature, but it shouldn't be getting that hot. So that firmware update, for whatever reason, seemed to do the trick with that handheld. Touch wood, I haven't used it all day long since then, but I've used it for a good couple of hours and it still kept going. So that pole trimmer, never had a worry. And then this thing, we didn't have a worry with it all week. And I'll keep using it on and off, especially with a chainsaw attachment. It's just so handy to have that lightweight machine, especially once you get the extension poles, you can reach up, get them things that are out of reach, and it's so much easier. So I'll go into a full-on review with it, but all in all, they're great units, and we'll worry about that another day, because otherwise I'll just keep rambling. Okay, so I'm going to get onto this, but before that, you don't need to see it, but all the green waste I'm going to go through now, pick it up, take it to the pile down there, get that sorted, and then before I get into the big on brush cutting, like the full on stuff, I'll hit underneath these shrubs, tidy this up, pretty this up. Anything loose as well that you think that the mower could handle, real twiggy type stuff, no thicker than your finger type thing, or your thumb, whatever. Depends how big your hands are, but it's yeah, that's sort of what I look at. I could run over the mower and it mulches that stuff up fine. Probably not the toughest stuff I wouldn't recommend on the blades, because they're like rocks. They're real solid stuff. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll get some more footage in a sec. Cheers. Okie dokie smoky. That's beautiful. Alright, so what I've got left here is any twigs, leaf debris, grass that I've just gone through and brush cut. I'll show you quickly, and the mower's going to pick it all up when I come through a bit later. So all that along every single tree where I've just hedged, so all that now looking much tidier. Probably in my throat, sorry guys. And with that, you've got all of this to clean up, but don't have to worry about it too much. The mower gets the majority. All the rest of the green waste is on the pile, just over there. Alright. There's a swig of water. Anyway, all on this side. Oh, get rid of that for you. Good to go, there's not much here. This hill is actually steeper than it looks. So when I'm here with the mower, got to be very careful along this edge. It's a rock face, drops off again and keeps going. So without further ado, let's get into the brush cutting. Alrighty, McNighty. All done for that little section. So we got down the hill a bit further to do. I'll go get the 2-stroke, have a quick look at the time, get done what I can on that next little section, and then it's into the hedging around the entire property. Goes up and around. I won't show all the house and everything, it's just couldn't tell you, maybe about 5 acres to mow, and then there's trees in between all that and edging around sort of the whole perimeter. Goes back out the front and along. It's a little bit still to go, but it's Friday, so all's good. I'll probably leave that there, guys. We'll get the mowing footage and everything else, I'll tag that on the end, and then to finish the day I'm going to send the drone up. All this haze and fog from this morning's cleared, so yeah, you should get a nice view. Yeah, it's a beautiful outlook just from a standstill point. I want to see what it looks like 120 metres up, which I'll have to look at too, because 120 limit, but above sea level I'm guessing, so we're a little bit higher already, so I won't go quite as high as I normally would, because planes and things could go over at any time, and I don't want to be the one that causes that to happen. So, you know, things you've got to be mindful of when you're taking it up. Try and go into an open area too, where you can clearly see everything around you. It's just another little consideration, but it provides a view that you don't normally get either. So, alright, I'll leave that there. Hopefully it wasn't too much talking in amongst this video. I'll speed up the footage, and hopefully we keep this around 20 minutes. Cheers guys, bye.